Right, greetings all, hope this finds you well as always. It's the first video of 2022, so Happy New Year one and all. I hope Father Christmas brought everything you wanted. And here's what we've been up to in the 3 days we've been back at it in the machine shop. Right, we're currently in Fort Pardey because that's where I've spent most of the last 2 days. And I've been having rather a major sort out of our measuring equipment. If you look back on our video, the video I did the other week, you may notice an ever so slight difference. One of the problems we had was that when this shelving was put in here, we didn't quite know how it was going to be utilised. And so it's one of those ones where it's sort of evolved and the design has changed to suit what we've got. And one of the things that's been annoying me for the last couple of years was the stuff. We had an incredible amount of measuring gear. The only problem was you couldn't use half of it because you couldn't actually get to it because it was buried under or behind or underneath something else, which usually was of the variety of something that was used about once a decade. And so what I've done is I've gone through it all, put some extra shelves in. You'll notice we gained a few more shelves. And then I've started sorting the whole lot. So we've got one shelf full of depth micrometers. We've got another shelf full of slip gauges and all their accessories. We've got outside micrometers sorted by size, so from 0 to 1 inch all the way down to the 11 to 12 and bigger. And we've also sorted a lot of other stuff out as well, big internal mics, verniers, height gauges, which have obviously been breeding over the Christmas period, scribing blocks, which have definitely been breeding over Christmas, and yeah, we've started to get it sorted a lot more effectively in here. It's still a bit of a mess because we're still ongoing in a sort out, in the process of which I've turned up all sorts of weird and wonderful things, which some of which are very useful indeed, and some of which, if anyone wants a set of plug and ring gauges for gas thread, give us a shout. We've got a set of them, which I don't think we're going to get much use out of somehow. I'm in the process of attacking that filing cabinet down there, which was stuffed with all the spare taps and dies, so that's pretty much sorted now. And so, yeah, we're getting there. This is a job that's, I've been wanting to sort it for a couple of years now. It's been annoying me for far too long. And I thought, well, start the new year as you mean to go on. So anyway, so that's in here. Now, out here, it's deja vu all over again. We've got the Harrison lathe in bits again. Just before Christmas, I confidently said, oh yeah, sorted. It's A1 condition. Couldn't be better. Superb. And then the week after Christmas, it decided to fail in exactly the same way it failed before Christmas. Now, fortunately, it hasn't done any damage this time, fortunately. But it has led to me to continue. There's still something wrong with it. After a bit more fault-finding, diagnosis, examination, I found there's another issue in it. It's just basically cumulative wear causing the rack on the bed, which is what the carriage actually travels up and down on, and that pinion here, this thing, basically due to wear in the bed, the clearance between that pinion and the rack has developed to the stage where it's causing issues. So, well, it's not wear in the bed, let's be precise, it's wear in the saddle. There isn't actually that much wear in the bed. There's maybe 3 thou wear in the bed, but there's considerably more in the saddle. And so we've come up with a plan to sort this. What we're basically going to do is modify that rack and bring it down the front of the bed slightly. It's the, well, let's be clear, it's the most cost-effective repair. So we're going to go on with that next week, but as I said, it's deja vu all over again with it in pieces. Although it does give me an opportunity to wave a camera at it and show you precisely what's actually inside here. I mean, it's quite a neat piece of engineering, really, if you just look at it. I'll just climb around this side. What you've got in here is, you can see, that wasn't supposed to go down there, never mind. Right, first of all, we've got the pinion here. That's what drives on the rack, and that is driven through this hand wheel here. You'll see how it's reversed. This is common on all heavy lathes, so that you wind the hand wheel in the direction you want the saddle to move. These gears in the middle, they do the power feed. This larger gear here connects to a shaft in the apron that in turn, in the saddle rather, that in turn provides the cross feed, and then the other gears here do a longitudinal feed. There's a selector here, which if we just see, you'll see there's a series of, do you see how that gear moves and I move the selector? Well, that's engaging either a longitudinal feed or a cross feed. It's quite a neat piece of engineering, really. And there's nothing wrong with it, apart from basic wear, causing that one gear and the rack to fall out of alignment. As you can see, we've got the rest of it out. We've had to take the lead screw and the power shaft out to actually remove the apron, because they actually run through holes in the back of the apron, so I had to remove those to drop the whole lot down. But as I said, that's going back, hopefully going back together next week, so should be sorted once and for all. In more positive news, Brian's returned from his Christmas break and he's busily on with some bits for 806's lubricator, as I may have shown before. This is the sample pump, and then the first job he's on with is these 4 gland nuts. They're basically a replacement for that there. There's some other ones. I nicked that pump as a sample, so basically we had something to compare stuff against. And then these have been machined up, and his next job tomorrow is to convert a chunk of this brass bar into a series of washers, which also go into the pump. So that's the job he's on with, and it's great to have him back after Christmas. Other jobs we're on with, so there's still bits of lathe all over the floor. Gotta watch where I'm treading. Other jobs we've got, Dan Middleton's back with us again, as I said, and he's busily on with making up piston rings. He started this blank. It looks a bit rough cut on top. That's because this blank originally was twice that length, and I'm sure the bright and astute amongst you will realise there might be a slight problem in getting that onto the machine. So what we've done is the one and only chef at the boiler shop attacked it yesterday with a plasma cutter and managed rather successfully to cut it in half. And so we got it in here yesterday, got it onto the machine. So tomorrow Dan, or rather, I can't remember if he's in tomorrow, if it's Tuesday, I can't remember. But anyway, whenever he's next in, he can start converting that billet there into an awful lot of those, which are your piston rings. So that's the job he's busily on with. And, well, we've got set up for him, basically. And then Chris Edwards brought us another job in the form of 2 sets of safety valve bases. These are off 76079 and 80136. They both need measuring up to check the clearances. And in one case, which is this one here, if we look closely at it, we should be able to see somewhere on the valve, but I find it. There is, I think it's, where is it? There is quite an impressive, there it is. If you just look closely there, you'll be able to see in the vicinity there, there's quite an impressive ding in the valve. I think what's happened is the valve has closed with a piece of scale actually in between the valve seat on the valve and the valve seat in the base. It's actually put quite an impressive dent in the valve seat. So that needs skimming out, and then what we have to do is then set the clearance of this relative to the edge of the skirt, and then at the same time we have to go into the base. You can see the other corresponding, focus, there we go. You can see the other corresponding half of that ding there that we need to get out, and then we need to set the clearance from the top of the seat here to the base of the valve here. This is done to a set of tolerances, and when it's done correctly, these valves will open and then close with that traditional Ross pop smart pop and shouldn't leak. So that's the next job coming up, thanks to Mr. Henwood and his very shiny, well, it was very shiny once upon a time, very nice trolley, which he'll get back. I'm sure he'll get it back eventually. Anyway, so that's the next job coming up. So, as I said, not a vast amount to do, mainly because I'm determined to start the new year as we intend to go on and actually get organised for once. So anyhow, folks, welcome back to the machine shop in 2022. I'm sure we'll have a lot more adventures and escapades to show you. Now take care, and I'll see you around.